Okay, so what we're gonna do today is with the 2-minute habit. I'm gonna show you how you can figure out your daily habits that you need to do to hit your yearly, 10-year, and 100+ year goals. Think of the 100+ year goals as your long-term legacy. So let's get started. First of all, let me explain to you what I mean by this 2-minute habit. So what you want to do is for 2 minutes a day, you want to add habits to your list. You want to add goals to your list. You want to make them more in detail. You want to make better goals and habits to your list. And for this, you can either use pen and paper, like what I'm going to show you, or you could use online notes, like Google Docs. Now let me give you the mindset to think about. So for this idea, think of it like this. So you need to start off by thinking big. That's your long-term goals. But also, you need to have small daily wins to get those long-term goals. Because if you just wait, say, till the end of the year to see if you're actually reaching your goals, you're going to have a tough time reaching them. But if you focus every single day and you ask yourself, okay, what do I need to do today so that I can reach my long-term goals, 1 year, 10-year, 100+ year goals? So that way it doesn't stress you out since you're only focusing on the day. You're making good progress since this motivates you to stay consistent, and it's a great way to measure your progress. So for example, let's say in the 365-day year, if you want to make, say, $120,000 a year, you can just do 120,000 divided by 365, and that's what you need in a day. If it's like, let's say, workout, like you need to do this amount of workouts every day to reach your goals, you can do that. And it can also be rest day. Like if you're doing workouts, maybe you need a rest day, whatever your workout plan is. So again, go on with this mindset. Small daily wins gets me long-term success. So grab your pen and paper and do this with me. So for this, I'm going to use both sides of the paper to show you examples of how this actually works. So on one side, we have long-term goals. So that's what we're going to title it. And then you can name 1 year, 10-year, and 100+ years. So this is where we're going to put the 1-year goals. Leave some space. This is where you're going to put the 10-year goals. And this is where you're going to put the 100-year goals. So you're thinking, so think of the 1 year as medium term, think of the 10-year as long term, and the 100-year as your legacy, what you want to leave behind to help the world. So you want to think big like that. And then the other side is you want to say daily habits. So what things do I need to do daily to reach my goals? And for this, it doesn't need to be exactly daily. Like maybe some habits you do once a week, or once a month, or once a quarter. So this is mostly for daily habits, and also habits they do again once a week, once a month, once a quarter. So you can say how often you do these habits. So let me show you where we wrote so far. So long-term goals, 1 year, 10-year, 100-year. And then on the back side, daily habits. So let's start off with the daily habits. This is how you can figure out which daily habits you need to do for success. So you start off by writing subjects that you want to improve. So maybe it's your health, like physical health, mental health, stuff like that. And then you have habits, let's say, for your wealth. And then let's say social circle. And then the big one is mental discipline. So you want to master your mental discipline. So this is how you can stop procrastination, by mastering your mental discipline. You tell yourself you want to do a success habit, and then you do it without excuses. So let's start off with these 4: health, wealth, social circle, and mental discipline. Health, wealth, social circle, mental discipline. And don't mind my spelling there. We all make mistakes, right? Now here's a catch. I'm not going to tell you exactly which habits you need to do because it's different for everybody, and I'm not an expert on that. So what you want to do is with 2 minutes a day, you set a timer, and then what you want to do is you learn from people who have achieved what you want to achieve. So maybe your health coach, maybe your fitness coach, maybe a financial advisor, the people who achieve the stuff that you want to achieve, you ask them, okay, which habits do you do to get to your goals? So that way you can know what they do for success. So maybe it's different workout plans, maybe it's financial planning, whatever the habits are. You write them in the daily habits. So let's say it's fitness. And then you can also write how often you do it. So you do it daily. Do you have any rest days? You need to know that stuff. So the habit and also the frequency you need to know. Because remember, for success habits, not every habit you need to do every single day. And sometimes it's not optimal to do every habit every single day. So you need to know the right habits and the right frequency, how often you do them. Daily is just a starter. So you could even rename this habits to do. But daily just represents consistency. Now let's do long-term goals. So I'm going to give you an example for each one. So for a 1 year goal, maybe your goal is, let's say you want to make your first $100 a day. So let's simplify it, say $3,000 a month from, let's say, a business that you want to start. Let's say your 10-year goal is, you can think more ambitious now. So let's say maybe you want to make $20,000 a month in 10 years. So $20K a month. And then let's say for your 100-year goal, this isn't necessarily just an income, but this is what you want to leave behind as a legacy. So maybe for your future family, maybe you want to leave $10 million behind or $100 million behind, because inflation, you know inflation, right? So let's say that. And then let's say you set a health goal. So maybe in 1 year, like for example, for me, maybe I want to gain, let's say 20 pounds or 10 pounds. Let's say for my 10-year goal for health, maybe it's a specific amount of muscles. So let's say my dream body. So great looks, great strength, lots of muscles. Let's say that's my 10-year goal. And then let's say my 100-year goal is help 10 million people start fitness habits. For you, it might be different. Let's say your 100-year goal is you want to have a gym that has, let's say, 10 million members. And then what you could do is you can make it even more specific. So instead of saying 10 million members as a goal, you could say 10 million members that show up at least once a week. So not only for this 2-minute habit, you can add goals, you can add habits that you want to do to reach your goals, but you can also make your goals more specific. So more specific number, you could add more details, because the more specific the goals, the better. Because you know exactly where you're going and you know exactly the right habits that you need to do to reach those goals. So now let's take action. So you name it habits to do. Daily just represents consistency. Let's say you want health habits, wealth habits, social circle habits, and then habits to improve your mental discipline. So 2 minutes a day, you can learn that right habits to do. And then for your long-term goals, you have 1 year, 10-year, and 100-year, or your legacy, where you leave behind. So for example, let's say for money, let's say in 1 year you want to make 3,000 a month from, let's say, business. Let's say in 10 years your goal is 20,000 a month. Let's say in 100 years you want to leave $100 million behind for your future family. So think of it like that. What daily, weekly, or monthly habits do you need to do? Like, look, monthly. So think about what daily, weekly, or monthly habits you need to do to get your long-term goals.